Hello and heartily welcome to today's video. Well, we have a new 4-week period where we're talking about an interesting topic, and the topic I want to talk to you about is fasting. I really enjoy fasting. I love talking about fasting because that's how I earn my money, explaining it to people, enjoying fasting weeks with people that come here to the hotel to actually try it out and get the experience for themselves. My name is Dominika Hanschk and I'm glad that you're here with me. Well, fasting is actually something very natural. Just imagine 10,000 years ago, the people would go into a natural fasting period during the winter time when food was rare. So in summer they had abundancy, they had lots of food to eat, there was plenty of everything. But when the winter was very cold or very long, then the food would diminish and there would be a time where there was no food available. So what could the people do? Well, they had to fast. They couldn't do anything about it. And our body is used to fasting. We have some mechanisms in our metabolism that actually work for us, that help us during the fast, that we don't feel hungry all the time, that we are not angry all the time, really. It's a natural thing, and living with Mother Nature or living in nature, there would be this rhythm of having lots of food and fasting. Today, it's different, of course, right? We have lots of food available in shops, in restaurants, wherever. There's lots of food available at every time of day, in huge amounts, and we actually have a problem that didn't persist in that time early on. We have lots of people being overweight. We have lots of people having too much food every single day, and it's actually wreaking havoc on their body because the metabolism isn't feeling really good, and the body doesn't really enjoy being that way, right? And fasting is actually a natural method for the body to readjust, to actually get back to normal. So what does fasting mean? Well, when we start fasting, our body is using, first of all, resources. We have resources for carbohydrates, we have resources for protein, we have lots of resources for fat. Fat is the normal storage in our body. But first of all, the body is using our carbohydrate resources. They last for about 24 hours. It's called glycogen. It's saved in the liver and in the muscle tissue because muscles need lots of energy, and also the liver has lots of work to do for the body. So it needs quick, efficient energy, and that's what glycogen is. So for the first 24 hours, our body is actually, hey, no problem whatsoever. It's cool. Yes, of course, it's a bit tricky when you're usually eating something at that moment in time and you're not now, but hey, it's doable. You can do that. It's not a problem at all, right? But then our body comes into this next phase, and this is basically it expects to find some food. And if that food is not coming to fill up those glycogen resources, then obviously our body has to switch. It has to cope with a different mechanism, right? And that is our fat metabolism. And our body needs special enzymes, special ways to actually use our storage fat. Because you can use the fat metabolism even whilst eating. That's not a problem. If you eat low carb, then you're using the fat metabolism whilst eating. But when you're going into a fast, the energy is not coming from the outside. It has to come from the inside. So the body has to switch and do something different. And that's not always easy, right? So people who tend to be on a low carb diet go through the next 2-3 days a lot easier than people that are actually on a high carb diet. Because when they're on a high carb diet, they don't use the fat metabolism as much, so they have little to no enzymes which are required for the fat metabolism. Okay? But if you do, for example, intermittent fasting, maybe you've tried something like that, or you're on a low carb diet, then actually going into a true fast is easy. It's just a little bit longer than usual, right? So our body can adjust. And the thing is, and that our body has huge resources. I mean, what is the Bible telling us? The Bible is talking about a 40-day fast. Well, as medicine shows, that's actually possible. Even very skinny people have enough fat stored to fast for 40 days. Nobody is going to do that nowadays, but it is possible, yes? So we don't need to worry that something will happen that will dramatically influence our life. It's actually an interesting experience, because fasting doesn't just involve the body. It's also actually having an impact on our mind, on our soul, and it would be quite useful to actually use the time that you get from fasting, because you don't need to go shopping, you don't need to process food and cook, you don't need to eat. So you have plenty of time to actually think about your life in general. What do you want to accomplish? What are you standing for? How do you want to behave towards friends and family? How do you want to spend your time? What are your hobbies? What's your work life? What's your job? Is that really still you, or are you just one of those people just following the masses and taking everything as it is for granted, not really thinking for yourself, and you're just following along day after day after day? Fasting actually introduces to you new ideas. It actually makes you think, oh, okay, what am I actually doing with my life? Is it, it's not just relating to food. Yes, you think about food a lot during fasting, but it's not just about food. It's also about your life in general. What do you want to accomplish? What do you stand for? Yeah? What's important to you? And it makes you think, okay, is that what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis really that I want to show the world? So fasting actually goes on different layers. Yeah, so you have different layers of fasting, and the longer you fast, the more you explore yourself, actually what's really important to you and what does really matter to you, because you get to know your body and your mind in a different way. Because think about it this way: when you are able to not eat for 5 or 10 days, and you can do that, what else can you accomplish in life? If you are able to not eat for 10 days, what else can you do in your life? And that's so empowering. That's so crazy. I mean, you're getting really, you can feel how you can move things around very quickly if you just want to put the effort in. And that's what I find so fascinating about fasting. I mean, the kind of fasting that I just described, that's what we call the Buchinger fasting, or Heilfasten in German. And that's the kind of like traditional fasting. But there are many other ways of fasting now around there. And you sometimes see that in springtime when people are saying, oh, I'm fasting my car, or I'm fasting my electronic devices, or I'm fasting, whatever. There are lots of ideas around that. And what does that actually mean? Well, it means actually putting my focus, redirecting my focus to the important things in life. And I find that the other fasting methods, even though in a medicinal way they wouldn't be called fasting because you eat more than 400 calories, but I think they also have value. So we have, for example, like an alkaline cleanse, Basenfasten. So you basically eat in lots of fruits and vegetables, which give you lots of vitamins, minerals to give your body vital energy, vital supplements that it can thrive, and you leave away the things that are not so good, that are actually putting a strain on the body when digesting. And I find that a very interesting concept. Or we will explore in the next couple of weeks what fasting actually means on the different layers. I mean, for example, intermittent fasting. What is the positive things in intermittent fasting? Why is it so positive? What does it do to our body? And how can I implement that in my life to have actually these benefits, to reap the rewards of the intermittent fasting? Or what impact has fasting on moving about, exercising? Because it's quite interesting. We don't need to eat to be really performant. We can actually do sports like hiking and so on during fasting. That's no problem at all. Yeah, and we're also gonna explore what impact fasting has on our brain, because many people think, oh, our brain needs lots of energy. That's carbs, right? Because we need high energy for the brain, quick energy for the brain, and that's obviously carbohydrates, right? Well, the interesting fact is that's not all true. Yeah, our brain can happily survive on ketone bodies, and we can actually use them in medicine to help people who have brain disorders to live normally again. So there's lots of interesting things going on about fasting. Well, and I would be glad when you actually stay with me the next couple of weeks and we explore those things in more detail. So today I just wanted to introduce a little bit to this topic and make you aware what fasting could actually mean and what good it can do to your body. And it's not just your body, but also your mind and your soul. And yeah, I'm looking forward to you going into this topic a little bit deeper in the next couple of weeks. If you have any ideas or any questions regarding fasting and you want to know about it, then please put them in the comments, because I'm more than happy to actually give you the answer in those videos. And it will be fun finding the answers to those questions together. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. So see you. Bye bye.